here, the numbers are jumping up. So let's go ahead and just go ahead and get things started here. So it's gonna kind of kick things off with the housekeeping again here. So looks like we got quite a few people jumped on board. So welcome everyone to today's webinar, Maximize AI's potential in your workday. My name is Raul Montez. I'll be kind of working in the background to hopefully answer as many questions as possible here. But just wanted to point out a few things. Like I said, we are using our webinar platform to host today's webinar. So you're not on video or audio. You're just listening and viewing. But send your questions in through the Q&A panel. We'll try to get to as many questions as possible. We have some folks backstage helping answer those questions. We're going to launch a poll in a few seconds here. So if you can provide some feedback, that would be awesome. We are recording today's webinar, so be on the lookout for a follow-up email with the link to the recording. To include the recording, some links to some resources. Also, keep your eye on the chat during the webinar. We'll use that to send out some links, some more information. That'll also be included when you play the recording as well. And then at the very end, there's a survey that pops up. So if you can fill that out, that would be awesome. Just one thing here before I do introduce our presenters and launch a poll here. Just wanted to point out our safe harbor statement that any services, products, or functionality referenced that are not currently available are subject to change at Zoom's sole discretion. So I'm not going to read the whole thing here, but just wanted to point that out here in today's webinar. So first things first, want to introduce our presenters. We have Robin Winovich here, who is our product marketing manager here at Zoom for AI Companion. We're also joined by Josh Stanley, specialist sales strategy lead for AI as well. Before I turn things over to our presenters here, I do want to launch a quick poll here. Let me make sure I have access to that here. We're going to launch this. So if you can chime in, you'll see that pop up on your screen there. So if you can provide some feedback, that would be amazing. Just want to see where everyone is currently at. What stage is your organization with regards to AI adoption? So if you can pick one of those, that would be awesome. And we'll take a look at that here. Looks like we got some more folks that jumped on board here, so welcome everyone. All right, here we'll give people a few extra seconds here to chime in on the poll, but you'll see that pop up on your screen. And let's go ahead and end that in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 here. And Robin, I don't know if you can see those results here, if I need to share them.
I think you'll have to share them with me. I don't.
Yeah, that's fine. It'll just show percentages. Don't worry, folks. It's not going to show your name here. So there you go.
Great. Thank you, Raul. And welcome, everyone. Thanks for answering that poll. It looks like a good amount of you are either in the process of implementing AI or exploring it but haven't quite implemented it yet. So you are in the right place, and thank you for joining us. I'm really excited to talk about one of my favorite topics, generative AI. And in this webinar, we will walk through how you can implement generative AI into your organization in both a safe and effective way. But I do want to caveat. The fact is, this webinar is 45 minutes, and generative AI is, as many of you know, a very powerful and complex technology. So my goal here today is to break it down for you in a way that's simple and easy to understand so that you know you can do this. You can take this on. But also, I want to let you know that there are many, many, many resources out there for you to look at, to listen to read. We have a lot here at Zoom, which we'll get to later in the session, and we'll show you those. But also talk to your peers, see what they're thinking about and how they're doing this within their organizations. But I want to say being here today is a great way to start your journey or to continue on your journey. So welcome, and thanks for taking the time today. So we'll talk about, like I said, steps to integrate AI into your everyday workflows. We're also going to show you some demos of how you can do it with AI Companion and some of the new things that we've launched with AI Companion 2.0. I'm going to have my colleague Josh Stanley take you through that. And towards the end, we'll walk you through how you can get it for your organization. And hopefully, if we have time, we'll do some live Q&A as well. All right. So I just wanted to bubble up this slide to the top just to show you a few things that you might want to be thinking about on this topic. So when it comes to AI, I hear a lot of customers saying, we just want to implement it. I've heard from my CEO, he wants AI, we want to do this, which is great. There's a ton of excitement out there. But just a few important things for you to think about as you process a lot of those conversations. Make sure you're matching solutions, AI solutions, with some of the real business problems that you have. Once you do decide to implement the AI technology, make sure you're continually testing and learning as you go. And take it one step at a time. You don't have to implement this technology across your entire organization. You can do it with small teams. You can do it in small ways and see how it goes. Make sure you have a plan in place, set goals, set KPIs for how you want this to go. And of course, always, always, always prioritize your data and security. We do that here at Zoom. We'll talk to you a little bit more about how we do that, but it's definitely something you want to be thinking about as you roll out technology, any technology, but especially regenerative AI. So I'll take you quickly through these 5 steps. I won't read them off the slide here because we're going to touch on each of them. But these are just good practices to follow as you go. So the first step, identify the needs and opportunities within your organization. So take a look at the processes that you have today and think about how maybe they can be made better through technology. So think about how AI can potentially leverage, help you with data insights, analyze large amounts of data, could enhance customer experience. It can also expand revenue streams. And one easy way to think about it is streamlining daily operations. We all go to work every day. We all have processes in place. And they can be made better. They can be, you can be more productive in your day. And we think AI technology does a great job with just that. The next thing I want to talk about is data. So we like to say here at Zoom, data is the fuel for AI. And really to get the benefits of this technology, you need to have the right data infrastructure in place. And make sure that your data is clean, is easy to read. So here are just some few ways you can be doing that. Have a look across your organization and see where the data sits. Understand all of the data that you already have. And then look at your different departments and see where those departments may be keeping their data, what are their practices for keeping the data, establish data governance and management processes. We all have been somewhere where maybe you use a technology where you can have the option of sharing documents with people, and sometimes you just hit share for all really quickly to make sure no one has issues looking at that content. But also make sure that you have practices in place for sensitive documents and content that don't get shared so easily. Look at a transformation strategy if you have some of those concerns, and make sure you have a infrastructure that is ready for AI. Because, like I said, data is the fuel for AI. It's going to be where it pulls a lot of that information to make your processes better. So make sure that you're in a good place with the data that you have with your organization. Number 3, uncover and prioritize the benefits. So like I said earlier, there are a lot of benefits of AI, and think about which ones your organization may benefit from the most. Here are some that we've seen at Zoom where AI can really help us. First of all, it can help remove bottlenecks and inefficiencies among teams and employees. I think potentially everybody faces this issue at one point or another, and AI can make this a little bit easier. Another very popular way that we use AI here at Zoom, but also I've seen it across organizations, even outside of business, is developing content, especially marketing content. AI is great for getting that first draft started when you have an idea, but looking at a blank page feels a little bit overwhelming. You can kind of get your creative juices flowing by prompting whatever AI tool you're using to help you come up with that first draft. Another way, personally, I love this use case, is using it to increase my focus within meetings. So here at Zoom, we have AI Companion, and when I'm in a meeting with AI Companion turned on, I can really focus on the content without taking notes because I know I will get a comprehensive meeting summary, but I can also use it to ask questions if I missed something, right? If I have to step out of the room and I didn't hear what was said, I can ask, what did Josh say about AI Companion? And it will tell me that. So it really allows you to focus in on conversations and your personal relationships without having to be scribbling notes. And finally, you can use it to enhance those customer communications. We've seen that in a lot of the organizations that we interact with as customers, and we have that here with a lot of our products at Zoom. And our fourth pillar is develop a strategy and a deployment plan. Okay, so you've decided this is the right technology for you and your organization. Now what? Put a plan in place. It always helps to have a plan, right? So here are some ways that we've seen people adopting our AI technology and other technologies at their organization. One first great step is assemble a cross-functional team. You might be sitting in the IT department, but there are a lot of great ideas that come from others within your organization. So maybe, send out a communication within your company and say, who might be interested in joining my Tiger team? We're going to take a look at how generative AI can help us as an organization. And get that help from others within your organization, because they might uncover new use cases that you might not have thought of. Second, make sure you understand the risks going into your plan and take a look at what those are and make sure you balance them with what the rewards are. There are risks in every technology that we implement. So you just want to make sure that you understand what those are and you've put safeguards in place to combat them. Third, like I said, define what that pilot or test strategy looks like. Here at Zoom, we do offer the ability when you enable AI Companion, you can enable it for small groups and teams. We also have an onboarding center, which has some documents that you can take a look at, and they'll walk you through how you can start with a small test group. So one thing I've seen a lot of people do is they have a test group. They'll let them use the technology for a little bit and then conduct a survey and try to understand how they're using it, what use cases are working best, and get that feedback so that when you are ready to roll it out to a larger part of your organization, you have those learnings with you. And then develop a roadmap. So make sure, like I said, you're not doing everything at once. Take it one step at a time and define that roadmap. And then finally, you can make plans for integrating more data sources, scaling it, and have some documents that you can share out for your governance and your policies within your organization. So testing, implementing, and learning. We have something here at Zoom. It's our ROI calculator. So we recommend that you take a look at this. And I think someone will share that in the chat for you. But this is a great way to start. It helps you gather data on how this tool can be used, or if you're already using it, what kind of ROI you're getting from it. And this ROI calculator is focused on meeting summary. It's our most commonly used feature for AI Companion. And it's a simple way to show, hey, potentially you want to go to someone within your organization to say, we adopted this technology and we're saving people time, we're saving our organization money by using it. So this calculator will show you how to do that. It's really simple and easy to use. And as you kind of put those plans in place, here are some ways that you can think about testing the solutions with that small test group, continuing to learn, share out surveys, look at your dashboard, see who's using the tools and how they're using it. And finally, something we hear all the time is people are afraid that their employees won't know how to use this technology. Well, we've created a lot of resources for our customers that give them best practice guides, email communications that they can send out to their employee base to show them how to use and enable these technologies. And live trainings. We have tons of live trainings. We're going to do a short one for you here today. But definitely take in that content, share that content within your organization so your employees can learn how to use it. But don't allow training and enablement to really block this for you. We know it's a lot to take on, but employees are really excited about this technology and they're eager to use it. So I think they'll be very open to it. Now, I would like to introduce our newest version of AI Companion. We're calling it Zoom AI Companion 2.0. And mainly what it is this side panel that you see here on the screen. And if you've enabled it, we'll show you how to enable it. You'll see it on your computer at home. But it allows you to kind of sort through all of those unread messages, stay focused in your meetings, and even get content jumpstarting your draft right there from the side panel. So it understands where you are in your day and can help you through your day. And here at Zoom, we offer AI Companion at no additional cost to your paid services at Zoom. So we want you to try it out. We're encouraging all of our customers to go enable it and start using it. And we will not charge you anything additional for using AI Companion. And I also want to talk to you a little bit about the why and how we built AI Companion, because that's important to understand. And if you remember at the beginning, I talked about making sure you think about security and privacy within your company. So it's important that you understand that any tool that you're using, how it was built. So let me talk a little bit about this for AI Companion. First, we use what we call a federated model. This means we gather different large language models that are available to us, as well as our own model, and that's how we come up with the responses from the generative AI. So we use the right model for the right job, and this helps us with improved latency, meaning your responses will come out faster, improved accuracy, and it allows us to keep our costs down. So we can offer this to you at no additional cost. Second, we want to make sure that you and your employees are empowered to use these generative AI products. So we make them easy to use. It's super important, right? You don't want to roll out some technology that your employees are going to fumble with, are going to have problems with, are going to put in a lot of IT tickets. We wanted to make it really easy and self-explanatory. So that's something that we do with our product. It is also platform-wide. So if you are using other Zoom products, you will see that Zoom AI Companion understands your context based on the meetings that you've had, the team chats that you're sending, your calendar and email if you've connected it with Zoom. So it really helps fuel the data model, and you can get more contextual responses. Finally, and probably most importantly, we practice responsible AI principles at Zoom. You can trust us for this technology. And one way that we do this that's super important, we do not use any of our customer data to train our own model or the third-party models that we use within our federated model. So you can feel assured that we will not be listening in on your meetings, reading your team chats. This is something that we stand by, we believe it wholeheartedly, and we will never use our customer data to train our models. And all of this is outlined in our AI Companion Privacy and Security White Paper. So I encourage you to click on that link, download it, read it, or upload it to AI Companion and have it spit out some key facts for you. You can do that. But really understand what is behind these generative AI products that you might be adopting, and how and the importance of what the security and privacy measures are that the organizations are taking on to provide you with these services. So really encourage you to take a look at that. Now, probably for the more exciting part, I'm going to pass it over to my colleague Josh, who's going to show you how you can be using AI Companion in your everyday workday.
Good. Thank you very much, Robin. I get the pleasure of walking you through the product and showing you some of the great, exciting use cases that are available to you. I don't want you to restrict yourself in any way to what I'm about to show you. We've had to narrow this down to the 5 focus use cases that we believe can apply to most of us in terms of the way in which we work within Zoom. So I'm going to talk about how helping me and using the technology in my day in, day out basis to be able to improve the way in which I work. And one of the big challenges I think we all struggle with is just the ability to be able to manage all the things that we have going on. We are all both victims and violators of multitasking, right? And I think that it's important to understand that that's not going away. The volume of work that we have to do on a day in, day out basis is not going to reduce in most likely cases. But we want to arm you with tools leveraging AI to be able to help you be able to capture some of the feedback from those discussion points that are in your meetings, even when you might have not a dedicated focus. We want to be able to help you during a meeting to be able to ask AI Companion to be able to extract out some of those more valuable key points that were discussed, pull out information, maybe outcomes, decisions that were made inside of your meetings to be able to ensure that you're all on the same page. We want to arm you with ways to be able to ask additional questions and pull in external information that's outside of the transcript. AI Companion 2.0 can now do that, not only accessing the transcript, but also pulling information in from the web to be able to help educate you, help you, and guide you through your discussion points inside the meeting. And we're going to walk you through what these look like here for you as well. When you don't know somebody in the meeting, we can have AI Companion help facilitate the process of extracting out valuable information from that individual's profile. And one of the best things is long after that meeting is over, you'll still have access in the event that you have this enabled on your account to be able to profile and pull information out of that transcript in a way to be able to help make you more effective and really create accountability after that meeting is over. So let's take a look. So let's assume we're in a meeting here. We have AI Companion now enabled. That opens up the side panel. I could use one of the quick hero prompts that are very easy to use, or I can just simply ask a question. In this case, we're going to ask, who is Amelia? And it's going to use the profile information on her account to be able to surface that information for you. We can ask for a brief summary or feedback and get a valid or valued summary of what's happened on the meeting up to this point. And then obviously, any time that I have the ability to be able to ask that question and surface information, I want to be able to analyze what's going on in the project, right? In this case, this is a project meeting. I asked for a summary and key points and a final outcome of the decision or discussion that we were made. And this is going to give you a good summary of exactly what was happening. It's not intended to give you a long, detailed explanation, but it's going to allow you to be able to get up to speed quickly. You can access the web as well. So in this case, we're going to ask for common reasons why projects like this fail. And it's going to pull out those common reasons to be able to help arm the project manager. In this case, we're going to also ask for a list of tasks. Very important at the end of a meeting to be able to identify exactly what I agreed to or what was assigned to me. And then we can agree on that. And I can highlight over those source codes to see exactly who said what and when in that meeting, to ensure that we have everyone on that meeting on the same page, which is going to help us create far more accountability in between the meetings of getting work done. Now, oftentimes when you maybe step out of the office for an extended period of time, or maybe even during the day, you just have a volume of work that's coming in that you can't keep up with, right? So as we're in meetings or we're out on vacation, work is still happening, right? Responsibilities are still happening. And what's allowing us to use AI Companion to be able to get caught up quickly, to be able to extract out key points of information and better understand what's happening in chat channels, summarize things like emails, get a list of action items that I committed to or was committed to for me on my behalf, summarize unread chats or recent activity, and then find out by surfacing when my next meeting is with a particular individual that maybe certain things are a requirement to work with those individuals. So let's walk through what that looks like. So I can start by using one of the hero prompts. What are my meetings today? And it'll list out what my remaining meetings are for the day. And then I can go to chat and start doing some additional research. So here we're going to go into the project and actually try to surface and find out what's going on in this project so I can better prepare for an upcoming meeting. I can use the quick hero prompt to just summarize all the recent messages. So this is going to pull in anything that's fairly new that help in order to be able to get caught up to speed as quickly as possible. So now that I'm up to speed on sort of what's happened recently, I can start asking about action items. Very important to be able to extract out what was assigned to me. So when I go into this upcoming meeting, I'm not setting myself up for failure here. So in this case, it's going to provide all my action items as I'm playing Lucas here in this video. And you'll see the ability as well to be able to surface my next meeting with a particular individual. So maybe one of these tasks, for example, is reliant on Amelia, and I need to know when I'm going to next meet with Amelia. And I can quickly see that she's actually in that same meeting. I'll wait to discuss some of these action items specifically with her until we meet. This gives me the ability to be able to, again, extract information out of chat channels that can be very busy, maybe dense in terms of content that was shared in there, surface that information and give it to me the way in which I want, when I want, and the format of what I want to be able to streamline the way that works. Now, I think we all deal with this as well. So maybe we might be from time to time in back-to-back meetings, or we have to run quickly to our next requirement. And sometimes the work we committed to in those meetings is a bit challenging to get accomplished. So when you don't have time to do some of the things that you committed to, we can use AI Companion after that meeting is over to do things like write a thank you note, or have AI Companion help create content like a product spec or a product brief based on the meeting conversation. So you could use all that great information that you covered in the dialogue inside your meetings to extract it out and present it in a way that can help progress and move the needle forward in terms of the project or the plan that you're working on. And then you can also use that information from previous meetings to get prepared for upcoming meetings as well. Let's take a look at what that looks like. So now inside of the calendar, I can come see that upcoming meeting, or my past meeting, I should say in this case. I can view that recording, look at the description, see all the details, the participants. And then I can start asking questions of that specific transcript tied to that meeting. Here we're going to ask it to write a thank you note. Now, created a good start, but I want to rewrite that. I could use the information shared as context to rewrite the message, but provide more specific details from the meeting. And now I'll get a little bit more in depth, and I'll be able to hover over those source codes to be able to see exactly what those sources are to be able to surface that information. Now we're going to ask about unscheduled future meetings and creating a possible agenda for those upcoming meetings. So now I could use information from the updates and the tasks to copy and paste that, put it right in the calendar, and send out our follow-up meeting to that. I can also use Zoom Docs as a way to be able to leverage the transcript and ask it to create content. So in this case, we're going to use the meeting transcript and lay out an action plan from everything that we discussed. Now, I've attached that meeting summary, which includes the transcript in this case, and it's going to create, as you can see, a very detailed action plan for this project, including goals and timelines, key metrics, tasks. These are done in just seconds. And it's probably not the final output. You're probably going to go in here, look at it, figure out where you want to expand it, maybe reduce some things in order to have this action plan be as appropriate as possible to be able to continue to get the work done. One of the great things about Docs is that it is a collaborative document that allows you to be able to share with other individuals. So I could simply just add Robin right to this document. We can continue to collaborate, make edits, and expand that out even externally, maybe with partners, vendors, customers, in the event we want to share it with them as well. Now, the next thing is something I think we all struggle with in creative roles is that we're staring at a blank page and we're not really sure where to start. This could be true for a whiteboard. It could be true for a document. It could be true really for a number of different collaborative tools. But we want to use AI Companion to be able to help you create new content by just simply prompting AI Companion to create that initial draft for you. You could also upload a file, a document, and that document can be attached to not only from your desktop or maybe linked in through something like Google Drive or Microsoft OneDrive. These are ways to be able to pull files right into AI Companion, and if you wish to share them, and then ask questions against that document, and specifically as well ask requests. So to start dissecting that information, analyzing it, and then creating content against it as well. Let's take a look at what that looks like. So inside of Zoom, I can upload that file. As you can see there, we're going to upload a campaign brief here, and we're going to ask it to create some additional campaign ideas in order to maximize the success of the particular campaign that we've inquired on. Now, in this case, it's created 7 different ideas, so it's great at generating content, generating ideas. We're also going to ask it to create a new headline because we weren't real crazy about the one we had initially in the document. And this is a pretty good one. So we'll use empower your mid-market, right? So this is about growing AI companion. Let's ask also to arm our salespeople with a phone script. So we're going to ask AI companion to generate an initial draft of a phone script. Here now I can take this, copy it, drop it right into the training materials, and I can streamline this very easily. And again, it might be 100% done. If you love the way it turned out, it might be 80% done. But ideally, we want to create good ideas, good thought, and a good start to generating content for you. And I think AI Companion does a great job of this. Okay, and then finally, we're constantly asked of information all the time, and sometimes it can be a bit challenging to find that information. We know that the answer to those questions can be accessed if you're good at search and finding the right content, but it's hard to retain all of that information in your head. So what we want to use AI Companion to make it very easy for you to find and extract the right information to be able to answer and address the question that's at hand. So when you need answers quickly, the ability to upload a document to AI Companion, as you saw in the previous example, you can do that both from your desktop as well as through third-party services like Google and Microsoft, and more to come in the future. And you'll see the ability to be able to, again, access that document and extract out what you want, when you want, and have it generated in the output that you like. So examples might be something like a benefits policy, where a lot of us are going through that right now at this time of the year. Is how do I extract out all the rich information that's in all of my options for benefits and find the answers to my questions? We can do that through leveraging AI Companion. Instructional guides, support documentation. These are things that are oftentimes very dense in data and content. And to be able to sift through that, find the needle in the haystack that you need, and then use generative AI to be able to create a response for you that makes sense. Let's take a look. So here I can upload a file. And in this case, we're going to use Zoom's federated approach. It's a document that was reviewed there. And we're going to ask, what in the world is Zoom's federated approach? Robin did a beautiful job of explaining that earlier, but we're going to ask AI to help us understand it a little bit better. Now, AI Companion writes a few sentences, and I can be as descriptive as I want. I can ask it to create more details. I can ask it to be more brief. In this case, we're going to ask it to convert it to a message to a prospective customer and use common language, so much, in fact, that if it's a non-technical person, I need them to be able to understand that. I can click on the copy button. I can paste that right into an email or into a chat or text message and send this information out after making any required edits. This is a great way to be able to take a very rich, very dense document. It can be up to 5 megs in size at the current state. And that's a lot of text. I can tell you I've loaded documents 30, 40, 50 pages deep. And AI Companion does an amazing job of dissecting that information, analyzing it, and then using it to be able to answer the questions I possess. Now, keep in mind, as I just showed you here in this example, it does temporarily store the question and the answer as context temporarily, so you can continue to engage. I can ask multiple questions. I can ask it to change the format of it, the tone of it. I can rewrite it, as you saw in an example message, back to the customer. With that being said, I'll turn it back over to Robin to take us home.
Josh, thank you so much. So you saw from Josh that he showed a lot of different products within our Zoom platform. So you're probably familiar with Zoom meetings. Of course, you're familiar with Zoom webinars. We are on one. Maybe you're not as familiar with Zoom Docs or Zoom Team Chat. But you can see you get the most benefits out of Zoom AI Companion when you use it across those products. And many of those products are bundled within Zoom Workplace. So you might already have them already, and you don't have to necessarily pay anything extra for them. And it's a way to get the most out of these AI solutions from Zoom. So you can see here some of them, things like clips. That's a great one you can use to record yourself, send video messages. Zoom Team Chat, it's another way to communicate with your colleagues. When you're in a Zoom meeting, you can take that chat out of the meeting once the meeting is done, continue to have that conversation, and then use AI Companion to help you get caught up on that conversation, to break down information in Zoom Docs, all the great things that Josh just shared with us. So hopefully that helps you understand a little bit more about what we have here at Zoom, and how you can be using AI Companion to help you throughout your day. So I know we did spend a lot of time talking at you. Hopefully we have a few more minutes to spend on taking some of your questions. So let's go ahead and take a look. All right. So Josh, here's a question that we have. What are some good areas to look for in our businesses to identify some possible use cases for AI Companion to provide value?
So the answer I give customers, I go through this conversation a lot with customers that are in that early stage trying to uncover the best place to start. And my general answer is anywhere there is friction in your business, and I define friction as anywhere there's maybe a lack of quality in the outputs, anywhere maybe a lack of consistency where we're not doing it as well or as often as we should, and you want to start leveraging the tools that you saw here today to be able to convert the manual steps involved with doing some of those things that are high friction related into more of an automated approach. And I'm very excited to see, we're not talking any roadmap here on this session, but I'm very excited to see some of the things that we're doing in the future to be able to take and even start automating some of the things that you know you're going to want to do after a meeting is happening or after a chat is sent anyway. And we can start taking all of the manual engagement out of that. But AI can certainly help you reduce that manual human engagement. We can start streamlining that process. So I would start looking at departments and then certain activities, certain individuals that perhaps, like I said, have a great deal of friction. Things that are taking an hour a day that can and should take much less time, that's the best place to start to look at ways to be able to save time and save money as a result.
Yeah. I want to kind of build off that question because we got a really good, thoughtful question from Jamie. And she said, you said to make sure that we are using AI to solve real business problems. Are these ideas based on users asking for things like this, or does this actually save time to have AI Companion, for example, write you a thank you note rather than writing one yourself, or asking about your next calendar or your next meeting within your calendar? So I like this question. I'm going to give my 2 cents first, and I'm going to pass it to you, Josh. I think this is a really good question because I think a lot of people are thinking this. Like, there's all of these AI tools out there. People are telling me how it can save me all this time. And I think to what you said, Josh, it can save some time. And obviously, a lot of people work in different ways. So if you're someone who has back-to-back meetings and you don't have time to write 12 thank you notes, it's great for that. If maybe you only have one meeting and you can write your own thank you note, that's great too. But I think as the technology progresses, like you mentioned, we're going to see that kind of that steamroll effect of all of these things really compacting a lot of the activities. But it's not just, to me, it's not just about saving time. It's also the amount of time that I can be focused in conversations, or that I don't have to do some other tasks that I hate doing. So it helps me kind of make me feel a little bit better about what I do in my job. So that's my 2 cents. I don't know, Josh, if you want to add anything there.
Yeah, I would tend to agree. And once you start doing the little things, like create a thank you note, sure, I could have written that in 2 minutes and I saved maybe 60 seconds. But that's sort of the tip of the iceberg. And that's what allows you to be able to see what's possible. As you get better with prompting and start seeing and inserting AI throughout your day, that's when you save 60 seconds, but maybe 30 times a day, or you save 6 minutes in this particular session. So I think practice on the simple, obvious things that maybe save you a slight amount of time, but that's sort of training yourself in terms of mentally how you can start inserting AI in the way in which you work. And for me, it's about doing the things that maybe I'm not really good at, right? Like I think there are some things in my day that I have no problem. There's no friction involved with those things, and I can do those without having to think much about them. But planning and extracting all the information out of a meeting and really putting a good solid plan in place that's thoughtful, that considers everybody that was in that meeting, maybe not my strength. And I think AI can be a really great value add of a very simple prompt, pull out what I want, when I want, present it in the way that I want, and then I can use that to look a lot smarter than I actually am.
Yeah, I love that. Okay, we have time for like one or two. Let's do two more. First one, can you link a Google Calendar and ask AI Companion to give you a few open time slots or meetings? So let's talk a little bit about linking maybe your calendar. I also mentioned email to AI Companion, so it has some more of that intelligence. Josh, or I can answer that one too.
If you will, I was typing an answer to
oh, sorry. See, it's live, folks. We're doing it all live. Okay. Yes. So with AI Companion 2.0, when you go into your settings, you will have the ability. You'll see a toggle for linking. You can either link your Gmail, your Google Calendar, and your Gmail, or your Outlook. And your Outlook calendar. So there are options to link those. And when you do that, when you switch on that toggle, it allows AI Companion to understand what's happening in your email, in your calendar. So it can simply answer questions like that. Can you help me find time to set up a meeting? Or when is my next meeting with Josh? So it'll help access more of that data. But of course, we want to make sure that you are the ones to allow that access, that you yourselves turn that on. We won't automatically turn that on for you. And let's close it out with one more. I'm going to talk a little bit about okay. So some of you asked about hesitation with enabling AI Companion or AI generally. What are some things, Josh, that you hear most commonly from our customers about with those hesitations, those blockers to using the technology, and how do you, what do you tell people how they can overcome them? I know that's a big question, so maybe one or two.
Yeah, it is a big question. I would say probably the most common one is probably the same concerns that most of you have is how do I ensure I deploy this out in a reasonably trusted way, meaning my data remains private, it stays local to us, it's not given access to anything else, it's not trained on that model. The short answer is we can answer all of those questions. Some of the largest companies in the world are actively engaged with these discussions right now. We are, sometimes 10, 12 meetings deep in those conversations with dedicated legal and security individuals. So we can have those conversations with you to get you comfortable with the way in which it's deployed. The short answer is you can customize AI Companion really any way you want in terms of deploying it out. So there are controls. What I mean by that is you can deploy it by account, by group, by individual. You can even take certain features, deploy it out, and tweak the way in which that feature, that functionality is deployed for different groups or different individuals. So there's a number of ways that you can splice and dice the way in which the implementation works for you. And that allows you to be able to ensure that the right people have access to the right services and you're not putting yourself at unnecessary risk of your data.
Excellent. Well, thank you, Josh, for spending some time with me. Thank you to all of you. I am going to pass it back to Raul. Thanks for hosting us. Back to you.
Awesome. All right. Thanks, Josh. Thanks, Robin. Lots of awesome questions. Obviously, we weren't able to get to all of them, but wanted to point out. Obviously, we're recording today's webinar, and all the links that I sent, as far as like getting more information on how to turn certain features on, right, privacy and security. All those links that were sent in the chat are going to be included with the recording, and we're going to send out a follow-up email, with the link to the recording. Some resources in the email itself, but with the recording, you'll be able to see them in the chat panel there. But once again, do want to thank everyone for joining. Be on the lookout for that email. Also, when you leave, there's going to be a survey that pops up. So if you can provide some feedback, that would be awesome. But Josh, Robin, awesome presentation. Josh, great demo as well. And folks, thanks again for joining. Bye, everyone.